David, what do you think about the whole issue of journalists communicating with groups that are considered by the authorities to be criminal organisations?
Well, Monica, in some respects, this is really bread and butter for what we do. I mean, we talk constantly with all parties, regardless of their affiliation, regardless of their behavior, perceived or real, regardless of any other factor. I mean, we will speak and engage with anyone who can have an impact on the humanitarian environment, because that's fundamentally our job. I mean, at the end of the day, if we're not speaking with them, how can we purport to change, improve, strengthen, develop behavior? It won't work. We've got to absolutely speak with everyone who's involved. And we also need to be speaking with anyone who can shift the security dynamic, the security environment, because if you don't speak with group X, who happens to control a road between your home base and your destination, then you can't safely travel and you can't deliver your humanitarian service at the other end. So this is really kind of core to who we are. And as Catherine will know, it's very much founded in international law. I mean, really in international humanitarian law, the Geneva Conventions and other related instruments. One of the real complexities, and I wonder if this is impacting journalists as well, is that in the last few decades, states have tended to want to regulate, that is to say, prohibit engagement with groups that they would designate to be terrorist. Now, of course, terrorist designation we could discuss for a long time, but is often a largely sort of political decision. And at the end of the day, on the ground, they can both affect the humanitarian situation and control or determine the security environment. So we would still want to speak with them. So there is this risk in some of the framework which has been built up in the last 2 decades or so to sort of counter terrorism, not just the last 2 decades, but particularly. There is this risk that it will erode or impact our capacity to deliver the humanitarian service that is actually foreseen by the other body of law, which is international law. And we are constantly trying to work with states to reconcile this so that we can keep undertaking our action. But I
Mhm.
think the ethical question that comes with all of it, which is valid for all of us, is where is the limit? At what point is your engagement with actor A, B, or C starting to legitimize them?
Mm.
Because that's not what we're about. We're not legitimizing actor A, B, and C. We are there to provide an important humanitarian service. And in that space, there really is, I think, an interesting, sometimes quite complex discussion.